Joining us tonight, I'm Tiffany Murphy. We begin tonight with breaking news out of San Antonio. Police reports there of an officer-involved shooting. An officer was taken to the hospital after he was shot, and we are told that a non-police officer is dead at the scene. Of course, as we learn more information, we'll update you on this developing story both online and on air during the 6 o'clock hour. Our other top story at this hour, some critical Southeast Texas patients may face the ability to be transferred hundreds of miles away because of a hospital shortage. Dr. Callis says the state is working to send more nursing staff as well as federal and state funds to help meet nursing shortages in our area. A workshop being held to discuss the possibility of granting a location to the Baptist Foundation. And right now in Beaumont, our numbers are down from the last couple of days for COVID-19. The health department is reporting 89 new cases in our region and offering a helping hand to another congregation recovering from major storm. The church plans other events in the near future to provide even more help. Meteorologist Chad Sanwell joining us now. Friends, we have made it to the weekend. Will the weather hold out for us? Let's check in. Dozens of San Antonio parents holding a rally today protesting mask mandates in schools. Over a month. Very few people who are fully vaccinated have died from COVID-19. For the origin of COVID-19, a member of the World Health Organization who investigated the matter has made some startling disclosures about the heavy-handed role that China played in the probe. Here's Sinclair correspondent James Rosen. Are hammering Democrats on immigration as hundreds to thousands of immigrants cross the southern border every day illegally. It is what it is.
We cool off.
Okay. Let's leave you with some amazing. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, Southeast Texas. I'm Tiffany Murphy. We begin with breaking news. First responders find a man's body inside of a burning home. The investigation is under police. At this hour, a man now charged in 2 separate intoxication manslaughter cases is now out of jail. A Southeast Texas anesthesiologist says our healthcare system is at the breaking point. He says the surge of COVID-19 in our region is pushing hospitals past their limit. KFDM's Paige Hubbard reports some patients are being transferred to hospitals in El Paso and far beyond.
6 News.
Dr. Callis says because some non-COVID patients need ICU care, the transfer of patients will help hospitals here from becoming overwhelmed. Trying to meet the growing need for ICU beds, you just heard that approval. And as COVID cases continue to rise and local hospitals are maxed out on ICU beds, management. Meantime, new numbers into our KFDM newsroom showing the percentage of COVID patients. Tonight for Greg Boswick, hot and dry. Will it stay that way, Chad?
Tiffany?
Thanks, Chad. A church offering a helping hand to another congregation recovering from major storm damage. Harvest for Lost Souls is planning other events in the near future to provide more help. Unfolding tonight, a spokesperson for Texas House Speaker Dade Phelan confirms law enforcement officers and the sergeant at arms from the House are going to the homes of absent Democratic lawmakers. They're not bringing gifts. They are armed with arrest warrants. Knocking. At this hour, many school districts in large Texas cities are adding mask mandates. They are defying the governor's order against those masks. Our CBS Austin station is investigating.
Keep the mandate.
So far, no local school districts have proposed mask mandates. And the GOP of Texas protesting outside of the Bexar County Courthouse this afternoon. With COVID, a lot of folks had to get unique on throwing parties and hosting events, right?
Yep.
We talked about one artist inviter who hosted a free art show. He put up all of his art that he had done during COVID, during the lockdown, on his fence. It was pretty cool.
Wow.
That same artist, along with other artists.
I am not, but my daughter is.
Yeah, what kind of art does she do?
She's gotten into a lot of scratch art.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Very interesting. My mom still has one of the pieces. Good evening, Southeast Texas. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Tiffany Murphy. New at 9, the Port Arthur School District reaching out with a message after 3 high school students tested positive for COVID-19 on the second day of class. Fox 4's Ian Chris joins us tonight in the studio to share the key takeaways.
Tiffany.
Thanks, Ian. A Southeast Texas anesthesiologist and vice chair of the Texas Medical Association Board of Trustees says our healthcare system is at its breaking point. He says the surge of COVID-19 in the region is pushing hospitals to their limits. Fox 4's Paige Hubbard reports some patients are being transferred to hospitals as far away as El Paso. Dr. Callis says another critical component is that Southeast Texas has a trauma center, and there are some non-COVID patients that need ICU help, and the transfer of patients will help the hospitals from becoming overwhelmed. We are settling into the weekend. Meteorologist Chad Sanwell joining us now for a first look at our forecast. Chad, will we be able to mow the lawn or wash our car this weekend? Chad, right now a man is out on bond 1 day after his arrest on an intoxication manslaughter charge. 24-year-old Jared Lee Watkins. Investigators are working to learn the cause of a fire after finding a man's body inside of a burning home. Jasper firefighters arrived in person for Texas House Speaker Dade Phelan, confirming that law enforcement officers and the sergeant at arms from the House are going to the homes of absent Democratic lawmakers. They're not bringing gifts. They are armed with arrest warrants. Two Austin restaurants that had planned to ask customers for proof of vaccination now changing those plans after a letter from the state reminding them of a recently passed law that blocks businesses from requiring so-called vaccine passports. Fox's Jennifer Kendall has that story. That was Fox's Jennifer Kendall reporting. Still ahead, facing an unprecedented challenge on the southern border. July was the busiest month for illegal border crossings in 2 decades. The surge is unusual this time of year when there are fewer crossings because of the heat. Here's more in this report. This month, the Biden administration started flying migrants apprehended at the southern border to the interior of Mexico to try and keep them from attempting to cross the border again. The practice has fielded criticism from immigrant advocates. 20th anniversary of 9/11 approaches. Difficult images are coming out of Afghanistan, where the Taliban is gaining ground faster than many expected. As American troops complete their withdrawal by the end of the month, there are fears about what will happen to the country and if it will become a safe haven for terrorists. This moment drawing parallels to America's second longest war, Vietnam, and its ending with the fall of Saigon. Here's national correspondent Arthur Alshanar. Americans who receive the Moderna vaccine are more protected from breakthrough COVID-19 cases than those who received Pfizer. That's according to a new Mayo Clinic study reviewed. Very few people who are fully vaccinated have died from COVID-19. Texas is dealing with a shortage of medical workers as COVID-19 cases surge across the state. 2 nurses who were either fired or quit for refusing to get vaccinated say vaccine mandates for health workers are keeping medical professionals from helping overwhelmed hospitals deal with the increase in patients. Here's Fox's Matthew Seedorf. And that was Fox's Matthew Seedorf reporting. In other news tonight, 4 educators in Florida's second largest school district have died from COVID-19 related complications within a day of. Union leaders say at least 3 of the educators were not vaccinated. They added that none of the teachers had been inside of a school building recently. The deadline to enroll for health care on the open market is this weekend. Shot and killed by her toddler. As Fox's David Bowden reports, investigators believe the tragedy happened after the toddler found an unsecured loaded gun in the home. Continue to see rising prices at the grocery store and the pump, raising concerns of increasing financial hardships. Fox News senior correspondent Casey Stiegel has more from Texas. Meteorologist Chad Sanwell has a check of our weekend forecast. So some rain this weekend.
Yes. Saturday and Sunday, and likely to continue into Monday. So here we go, 80s, so that's good news, but then temperatures warm back up again for the early part of next week.
You know that character on Charlie Brown?
Yeah.
That's all I hear when you say rain. Oh, there's rain. Oh, wait, more rain. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, Southeast Texas. I'm Tiffany Murphy. Right now, a man is out on her. Watkins is charged with both deaths, but getting to the point where the case is now took a long time. KFDM's Angel San Juan joins us tonight in the studio to explain. Angel? Port Arthur School District reaching out with a message tonight after 3 high school students tested positive for COVID on the second day of class. And Law encourages any parent that wants their child tested for COVID-19 to reach out to the district for the free COVID-19 testing information. And tonight we are tracking COVID-19 cases in the Beaumont area. The health department joining us now with a look at our first forecast. It's going to rain this weekend. What else, Chad? 9/11 approaches, difficult images coming out of Afghanistan where the Taliban is quickly gaining ground, even much quicker than expected. As American troops complete their withdrawal by the end of the month, there are fears about what will happen to the country and if it'll become a safe haven for terrorists. This moment drawing parallels to America's second longest war, Vietnam, and its ending with the fall of Saigon. National correspondent Althra Alshanar has more on that story. 4 educators in Florida's second largest school district have died from COVID-19 related complications within days of psychological burden of the pandemic. It found pandemic frustration is turning into angry outbursts at protests and even fueling anti-government distrust. The National Desk's Angela Brown is digging into the report.
Part of next week.
I thought the screen was just all blue because, well, we have rain for the next 85 days straight. So
Oh,
it's
come
like
on.
Noah almost.
Just 7.
What happens after day 7?
Hit or
8 and
miss.
9. I'm going to give you